Welcome to the Adobe Creative Suite 6 Design and Workflow series. I'm Penny La Liberty. I'm a longtime Adobe certified instructor, web developer, consultant, and e-learning professional. In this Adobe Workflow series, you'll find out how to use Bridge, Illustrator, Photoshop, InDesign, Flash, Dreamweaver, and Fireworks together in an integrated format. We will use each product to create collateral for our business, Big City Pet Sitters. In addition to learning how to use the products together, this series will showcase many new CS6 features. Each chapter comes with hands-on instructions and downloadable files. We'll start with Adobe Bridge and work all the way through our finished website using Dreamweaver and Fireworks. Let's start with Chapter 1, where we will learn how to use Bridge as we batch rename files, assign keywords, create filters, modify metadata, create collections, export to Facebook, and create a PDF. Let's get started. Let's look around Adobe Bridge and see what a fabulous piece of software this is. Not only is Adobe Bridge a standalone application that ships with all of the Adobe Suite products, not only that, but you can actually access Bridge from most all of the other applications. There'll be a little bitty Bridge icon at the top of all the other apps, and you can get to Bridge from any other application as well. But for now, let's explore some of what Bridge does. If you open Bridge as a standalone application as we have here, you're going to see a lot of different panels. Some of these panels are favorites, another is folder. We'll have the filter panel, the collections, over to the right, preview, metadata, keywords, and many more. What you see in the middle is the content window. The folder here in the content window is the project folder on my desktop. Now I know that because if I'm looking over in the folders panel here, I am going to see that desktop is active, and if I drill down into my project files, actually into the Chapter 1 folder, I'm going to see an Animals folder and an Animal Start folder. You will also see a folder named Other Images. We'll use that in a later lesson. If I open Animal Start folder, I'm going to see a variety of images. These images, by the way, will be used in our project in this series as we develop marketing material and a website and InDesign files for our fictitious company, Busy City Pet Sitters. So to get all of these images, I asked family, friends, and I did a Facebook notification and asked all of my friends to send me their animals. So all of these little creatures here are beloved sweethearts to some of my closest friends and colleagues, including my own little favorite doggies in here. This is my little guy Dash, and this is one of my bearded dragon lizards right here. So we'll have a variety of different files to work with. You may even see some goats and hamsters as we go along as well. Now, Bridge is not only great for organizing and modifying your JPEGs and your common graphics, but it is also a wonderful tool for managing things like Photoshop files, Illustrator files, and even InDesign and other Creative Suite files as well. In this lesson and in some of the lessons that we're about to learn, we're going to manipulate a lot of different JPEGs that will actually be used for our projects. So we've selected one of these dogs, and we're going to see that you can find out a lot about any of your selected images. For example, we already know which folder it's in. We can get a preview, a closer look at some of the details. We can find out what metadata has been created and also other metadata that we can create and attach to some of our images. And we'll also learn how to update and add keywords so we can sort and find images as we need to in a future lesson. So let's take a look. Right here, all of these little thumbnail images. If I needed these to get bigger, let's take a look at how we can do that. There's a little slider bar on the bottom right here that if I drag this guy to the right, our thumbnail images become larger and larger. Not only that, but there's some little icons to the right of this that will let us change our view very quickly. I've popped over into Details view, and now I can see the details for any and all of my images that fit in my content window. If I don't want to use the little icons at the bottom right, I may choose to use the menu item here across the top called View. This will let me see my images in thumbnail view, or I believe I was in Details, or I could even go to List view as well to to find out about my images. Now in this view, I can sort by file type, I could sort by date created, or by size very easily. Now what I want you to notice is all of the crazy file names that were created were stored with these particular files. One of the first things that we'll do in an upcoming lesson is learn how to batch rename our images very easily, and then we'll learn how to add keywords and actually use the filter panel here on the left so we can get the images that we need very quickly if we need those. So looking across the top at some of the menu items, we have already seen view. Let's go back to thumbnails real quick. You'll also notice several other things that Bridge can do. For example, if I click the file menu, I'll see that I can open any selected image with any of the other Adobe applications that I have installed. For example, when I click on the file menu, you'll see that I can open any selected image with many other Adobe applications that I have installed. Currently I'm on a Mac. On a Windows machine, you might not see as many options. For example, if I wanted to open the selected dog in, say, I don't know, Illustrator or Photoshop, or maybe Flash or Fireworks, I can do that very easily. Not only that, but I could move, copy, export, or do a number of other things to my selected image from the file menu. I may choose to look and see what's under Edit, and this is where I could actually flip or rotate or invert or duplicate my selected JPEG if I needed to. Under View, I think we've seen a little bit about what that does. Now compact mode is pretty cool because compact will let you run Bridge not in the big window that you see now, but a very small window, and that's extremely handy if you want to have Bridge opened as a standalone product when you're in any of the other applications. Keep in mind, we haven't learned this yet, but most other applications have what's called mini Bridge, where you can actually open a smaller version of Bridge, similar to compact mode, within any other application. Another helpful thing that you might see here is slideshow. If you wanted to see a slideshow, if I'm in slideshow mode, I can simply click my right arrow key and toggle through the images that are available in Bridge and see some of our cute little critters here that we'll be using in some of our files. Even our flowers and bees. And when I am finished with this, if I wanted to get back out, I simply hit the escape key and I'm back. Some of the other cool things about the Bridge interface, you might find the label menu item here. We are going to learn how to rate and sort our images and our files with a star rating. You'll notice that there are several really cool tools that are built into Bridge that will allow you to work with Fireworks, Photoshop, or Illustrator very quickly. And something else that I'd like to point out is the window menu. Sometimes you can make a mess of a workspace, not only in Bridge, but anywhere. For example, all of these panels can be moved and resized and closed or opened, and it might result into a mess, or perhaps you just want to get back to your default settings. That's very easy to do. Let's go to the window menu. Let's go down to Workspace, and let's just choose Reset Workspace. And now we have our default workspace back and ready to go. Now, some other great things that we're going to learn to do with Bridge in the upcoming lessons, the first thing that we're going to do is learn how to rename these crazy file names. After that, we will get into the metadata and the keywords and some of the many other awesome panels that you're going to see within Bridge. Let's make sure that we can get to this location a little easier. One great way to do that would be to make a favorite from our current location. So if I look here, this is where we are. So I think I'll go back to Chapter 1, and if we select Animal Start, so I'm going to select this folder and simply drag it and drop it over into my Favorites panel, we can now easily get to our animals very quickly because it's one of our favorites. And that's where we'll start in our next lesson, where we'll learn to batch rename our files.